Hi, welcome to another episode of Live on What You Grow. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 effective ways to incorporate biochar into your soil. Everything is growing really well. Our corn, that one over there is 8 feet tall. Jerusalem artichokes over there, 8 feet tall. We're going to have an unbelievable harvest of Jerusalem artichokes. And our tomatoes are doing fabulous over here. Rhubarb, we've picked this, we've frozen it a lot. Living on what you grow, it's a concept that I think that you really should learn. You should know how to do it. Even if you don't have to do it now, it's going to take you a few years to really to learn how to effectively do that. And if you had to survive on what you grow, you'd be doing what I'm doing. I don't garden as a hobby. I don't garden to make YouTube videos. This is how we live our lives. This is the food that we eat. And my wife used to talk about the good old days. You know, you watch these Hallmark movies of these people in these log cabins, and it just seems like such a wonderful life until you find out what it really is. You know, if there was no electricity, if the electrical grid went down, you know, for a considerable amount of time and you wouldn't be able to get gasoline, there would be no electricity, it would be very, very tough. And you would have to be actually working from sunup to sundown each and every day. It would be backbreaking work. What I'm trying to do here on this plot of ground is I'm trying to build up the soil fertility. I'm trying to create a permanent growing area that is loaded with fertility, that holds on to the fertility. Biochar is one of the very best things. I don't know what's up with the dog. But anyway, biochar is one of the most important things that you can put into your soil. You want around 10% of your soil should be biochar, but that is very subjective. You know, you always hear people say 10%, 10%, and there's no reference point. Are you talking about the top 10 inches of soil? If you were talking about the top 10 inches of soil, you would put 1 inch of biochar, which is about 125 pounds for each bed. If you're talking 20 inches deep, then you'd have to have 2 inches, or 30 inches deep, you'd have to have 3 inches. So it's really subjective. There's no really way to measure that. So you just do whatever that you think is best. So I'm going to just incorporate 1 inch of biochar into all of my garden beds. What I'm saying is that I'm going to be counting the top 10 inches, even though that I know that the rooting zone in my soil is getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and it will require a little bit more biochar over the years. Biochar is something that is permanent. Once you put down the right amount of biochar into your soil, you're not going to have to put it on year after year. But as you'll see, it does take a little while to build up to that even 10% level, especially when your growing zone is getting deeper and deeper because of your good farming practices. So let's go over here and I'll show you one way. There's actually 5 ways that I'm going to be showing you, 5 effective ways of putting your biochar into your garden beds. I've already done it with this bed, and I'm going to be doing it in this one. I'm going to be planting my sweet potatoes in this bed. So I'm going to build up a lot of fertility in this garden bed, and then there's only going to be a few plants in here. So basically what I'm doing is building the fertility in this garden bed for next year at the same time that I'm going to be growing the sweet potatoes in it this year. So I think that's a very effective way to use biochar in your garden. A full can of this biochar, this is all activated biochar, weighs about 125 pounds. If you look at it, people were saying that you have to crush it, you have to pulverize it down to a very powder. But when you activate it, there's a lot of water in here. You can see that there is absolutely no need to crush this down. You're going to find some bigger pieces in here, but that's okay. Here's a big piece right here. Look how easy that it snaps like this. When you put this in the soil, it's going to break in the soil, especially when it is in contact with the soil, the microorganisms, the water, all of those things are going to turn it into this powdery substance eventually. You want to have varying sizes of biochar. So, I got actually a lot of comments on the size of the biochar in one of our other videos. So, I know that it's a concern of some people. You don't have to crush it down. I'm not talking about putting big pieces of wood in that is char. I'm not talking about that at all. These are the wood chips that I was talking about in the last video. So the wood chips start out something about that size, and a lot of it is a lot smaller. Some of it is a little bit bigger, but that's okay. So let's get this dumped into this garden bed. It really does weigh 125 pounds, by the way. This should be about an inch of biochar across this whole garden bed. This is the way that I think is the very best way to incorporate the biochar. You might even call it a sheet mulching method. But we're going to spread out this biochar evenly over this garden bed, and then we're going to cover it with mulch. Someone asked me a question last week about why do you have to keep putting it in your soil. It's because I only make enough biochar all year. Last year we made about 750 pounds or so. So last year we've got enough to do 5 beds, and we have over 20 beds here. This is not even an inch. I don't really want to mix it with the soil. I want it to be on the top. And then I'm going to cover it with mulch. I'm not going to do the whole thing because you actually don't need to see all of that. Now this is the compost that I made. It's half-finished compost. So you can see that it is partially decayed. It is not finished compost. I'm going to put this on the top to cover this biochar. So that's the first way to incorporate the biochar, is by mulching. And the biochar is going to absorb all of the nutrients from this mulch without tying up any of the nutrients that are in the soil. So when I plant my sweet potatoes in here, I'm going to dig past the mulch, past the biochar into the soil, and plant my sweet potatoes into the soil. So let's get this dumped. It'll probably take about 4 loads, but I'm not going to do all 4 loads on the video. Look at this mint here. We've been dehydrating that. I'm putting it on rather thick. That's about how thick that I want to put it. You can see that it's very thick. Guess I can do this whole bed in 3 loads. See, then when I plant my sweet potatoes, I'm going to dig through that mulch, through the biochar, plant it in the soil underneath. The second way to incorporate biochar into your soil is to spread a layer over the surface and then use a garden fork to mix it into the top 6 to 12 inches of soil. And we want to ensure kind of a good distribution of the biochar throughout the soil profile. But, you know, in my opinion, I believe that this is probably one of the worst methods, but it is something that someone does, that some people do. I mean, just take that biochar and just mix it into the soil like that. I don't want to do that. I prefer to do it this way because I want the biochar to be in direct contact with the decaying mulch so that it can absorb the nutrients. It is going to work its way down into the soil. I'm a no-dig gardener, so I'm not going to be digging my beds every year because you're going to destroy the mycelium that are in the soil that I was talking about on the last video. That's your plant's communication network. It is also the way that plants are able to get nutrients from hundreds of yards away. These plants are not just relying on the nutrients that are in this garden bed, but because that they are perennials, they're permanent, so they are going to develop that mycorrhizal synergy with the fungi that are in the soil. And you don't want to be breaking the hyphae of the fungi, because by turning the soil like I just did, by turning the soil like this, then all of the mycelium, they're like hairs and they can travel for hundreds of yards and you're breaking them, totally breaking the communication network. The third way of utilizing biochar is to add it to your compost. And I added it to this compost. So when I was making that compost pile, I added a layer of leaves and then a layer of biochar and then a layer of grass and then a layer of biochar, a layer of leaves and grass and so on, and built up that whole pile that way. So there is biochar already in here. You can see that that 125 pounds of biochar was not even an inch. I am going to need to add more into these garden beds. So I don't think that I ever could make enough for our entire property. I am planning on bringing the beds all the way up to the top. Like I said, we have over 20 beds in this area, and we could probably add another 20 to 25 beds going all the way up to the wall on the top. Like I said, I got to do it while I'm young because I'm not going to want to be doing this when I'm old and I can't do it anymore. The fourth way is to use it as a top dressing. A top dressing is where that you would take your biochar, and I'll do it over here. You're going to mix it with some kind of a compostable material. And we've got this grass, and that's the reason why that I have grass growing up there, is so that we can cut it and so that I could make fertilizer with it. So we're going to take this biochar, about a 5-gallon bucket, and we're just going to mix it thoroughly to allow the biochar to absorb all the nitrogen that is in this. It's going to make a pretty wonderful mulch. And we're just going to let this sit for a while. And this grass is going to decay down quite rapidly. It'll probably heat up a little bit. But what you want to do now is that you want to add quite a bit of water. I want this to be saturated. But then once I get it saturated, I want to cover it so that it doesn't fill up with water in the rain. The biochar is going to absorb all the nutrients, especially the nitrogen that is in those grass clippings. And then what you do is that you just take this and you put it around your plants like a mulch. And then all of the nutrients and the biochar are going to be carried down by the rain and by irrigation, by the earthworms, by the wind, all of these different ways that it's going to just incorporate it. I always put my nutrients on top of the soil. I never mix them in. Of course, you might have a different situation if your ground is like really hard and really poor. You know, I don't see any reason why that you shouldn't dig down in deep into that soil and maybe incorporate some organic matter to it. But once you have a good foundation, see how I'm putting quite a bit of water in here, but once you have that good foundation, you're going to want to put your compost and your nutrients on top without mixing it in. The last way that I'm going to talk about is adding your biochar to your vermicomposting, your worm bins, and you want it to do about 10% of your worm bin with biochar. So what I'm going to do is, I have a number 10 can, but I'm going to pulverize this. I'm going to crush it, and I want to show you the method that I use for doing that. And I have this stainless steel pot, and I use it like a mortar and pestle. This is my pestle. One thing that's really important is that you round off the corners on the top, because if you don't, you're going to get calluses on your hands. So you just take it and you can see that there's hardly any dust. People were wondering, how do you crush your biochar? And people say, well, put it in a bag and drive over it, or put it in your paths and walk on it, or put it in a shredder. But then you get these big clouds of carbon going up into the air, and you're losing all of your hard work, and it's not going to benefit your garden if it goes out into the air. Now I'm going to take my sifter . One thing to remember is to charge your biochar with nutrients before you add it to the soil in order to utilize all of its benefits. If you can come quickly over here. These are our comfrey plants. I'm going to cut down these comfrey plants. This would be something fabulous to chop up and mix it with your biochar and to use it as a mulch. It is something that is just loaded with nutrients. I appreciate this plant so much more than you could possibly imagine. It comes up wild. I've got them growing in the paths. A lot of good things to say about the comfrey. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you are on the pathway to self-sufficiency, that you're starting to learn how to do these things. Not that you need to know how to do them right now, but you need to learn how to do them right now. Keep on learning. We will see you on the next video. So live on what you grow. Learn to live on what you grow.